Body odor, body odor, body odor. Hi, these shoes are too small for me, but I quite like the colour. I'm Tanya Hennessy and welcome to The Awkward Ask. Today we're talking about body odour. Joining me this week, again, because she's the only guest, Lynn.
Hi everyone, hi Tanya.
Oh yeah, she's very professional. I bet your pants are done the whole way up.
Hey.
Okay, we're talking about body odour. I think this is a good one, and I think so many people would have so many questions about this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And don't Dr. Google it, go see your Priceline pharmacist. Mm-hmm. But seeing as you're right here, I may as well ask a few questions. Why do we sweat?
So your body has this state of homeostasis. It's a balance. So if you are cold, you start shivering, mm-hmm. and that's your body's way of generating a bit of energy and heat, right, to warm you up. If you are too warm or overheating, your body sweats.
To cool you down?
That's exactly right. And that's, again, your body's way of bringing everything back to balance. But it's when bacteria kind of adds to the mix that you get body odor. Sweat doesn't smell.
Okay.
Yep. Sweat plus bacteria equals BO. So we have bacteria growing on us right now. And that's very, very much normal. But it's that overgrowth.
What do you think defines excessive sweating?
So there's no volume, right, or there's no magic number that if you sweat over a particular meals, for example, it's excessive.
Yeah.
But if it's getting to a point, and again, it's personal preference, where it's making you uncomfortable or making you nervous and therefore causing you to sweat more, then pop into your Priceline pharmacy, have a chat.
I know a lot of people who suffer with excessive sweating and they just don't leave the house when it's hot.
Why do you want to do that?
I know.
You don't have to.
I like being at home, but you'd like to have the option to leave.
That's it.
So what factors contribute to sweating?
Things like gender. Mm-hmm. So males sweat more than females. Age is also a factor. As you get older, you become less mobile, and you can sweat less. Hormones, so through, say, your early prepubescent age, teenagers, period cycle, through to menopause, so hormones can affect sweating as well. Then you've got exercise and stress. So stress, emotions, anxiety, things like that can contribute to sweat, and I guess how often or how much you sweat.
So when you get really nervous and you do start to sweat, that's the thing. Why does that sweat smell and maybe a normal sweat that's just like living doesn't?
So when you get nervous sweat, your body activates a different gland. Now, the sweat that is excreted out of that gland, the apocrine gland, tends to attract bacteria more so than the other sweat that comes out of the other gland.
Okay. And that's the BO when there's...
Yes, because sweat plus bacteria equals
body
BO.
odor.
Yeah.
Can we put that on the screen? Sweat plus fungus. No. Sweat plus fungus equals body odor.
Bacteria.
Sweat? Oh man. Sweat plus bacteria equals body odor. So what can people do if they're excessive sweating or have, significant body odor?
What we could offer, or what they can do, is come into a pharmacy, Priceline pharmacy, and speak to a Priceline pharmacist, and we could offer a few different options. I think it's quite important to differentiate between what a deodorant is and what an antiperspirant is. So a deodorant will help with the smell. It'll mask the BO. And then you've got a antiperspirant, which when applied, a thin film goes over the surface and it stops the excessive sweating. So you won't stop sweating, but it will minimize
the
it.
amount, yeah.
Yeah.
I love the smell of like antiperspirant and deodorant. It's like fresh. Tell you what my favorite is? It's the Rexona like clean linen. You know what it smells like?
Like clean linen.
It smells like clean linen. You wouldn't believe it.
And then there's the clinical range, which has been shown to be 3 times more effective to a regular antiperspirant.
Yeah, I've seen that, and I always been like, I should get that, but am I an excessive sweater? And you know what? And truth is, I am sometimes, and then sometimes not. And I think a lot of people, maybe women, I don't know, I can't speak on behalf of other people, but depending on your hormones, depending, how old you are, sometimes it's worse than other times.
Yeah.
Here's a rando question. When people get Botox, how does the Botox work in terms of making you not sweat?
It blocks the gland.
And that's not a good idea, is it?
Well, if you think about what the body's designed to do, if you oversweat, if you're sweating, it's to cool your body down. But if you are limiting or blocking that mechanism, then it's gonna just muck around with your homeostasis.
Right, so that's probably why it's better to use like a clinical protection. And like we've been talking about with this whole series, body odor, excessive sweating in general is a human response.
Yeah.
You can't live on this earth and not sweat. Well, some people probably do, but you know.
Well, some people sweat more than others. You just need to come into and speak to your Priceline pharmacist and we can definitely help you out.
What about like a Crystal Rock deodorant?
That would hurt.
No, you remember that was like such a big thing. My mum used one for years.
Do they even make that stuff anymore?
Girl, I think she got it out of the garden. I was like, man, I think that's a shiny rock. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode of The Awkward Ass, talking about body odor and excessive sweat. Ironically, I've sweated quite well throughout this because I'm wearing Clinical Protect. Branding. We'll be back next week. Thanks, Lynn.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Tanya.
You're welcome. I love you. You can say it back.
Love you more.
Different because I have to ask. Didn't just roll off your tongue, did it?